Alright folks, welcome back to BowlTV. My name is Matt Canizaro alongside Senior Masters competitor Bruce Hall. We've got a couple of rounds of competition left here at Samstown Bowling Center in Las Vegas. We're down to 8 competitors now at the USBC Senior Masters. Holy cow, down from 272 to 64, and now we're down to just 8. We've got our top 2 seeds already determined for the stepladder finals tomorrow. That'll be Norm Duke in the number 1 spot, 1 win away from the title and $20,000 top prize. Number 2 is Michael Haugen Jr., the front runner for PBA 50 Player of the Year. And now the other 6 guys are going to work toward being on the show as well. So we'll take a look, hopefully, at our updated bracket here on bowl.com. Or not quite ready. Okay. Anyway, we have one elimination round left before our shootout. And in this round, we'll have Chris Warren and Michael Calvin. They're here on our featured pairs. You can see that. And then our other match is Ron Moore and Steve Badavinik. They are down yonder. We'll follow them on their live scoring. It's going to be 3 games, total pinfall. Winners will advance to a 4-player shootout round where they'll join Daryl Bauer and Keith Lesko, who were the last 2 guys out of the winner's bracket before Duke and Haugen bowled for the number 1 seed. So once we get past this match, the 4-player shootout, the 3 highest scores will advance to the TV show, and Low Man will be out and finish 6th. The losers this round, or non-winners, will finish 7th and 8th, or tied for 7th, however you want to look at that. So pretty exciting stuff. We started again with 272 bowlers, 15 games of qualifying over 3 days, and at the end of those 15 games,
There's it.
Chris Warren loses that one.
Just fell off his hand at the and started to come down in his backswing, and unfortunately had enough forward momentum to head towards the gutter. Might get a little rosin on the hand there. They marked it a foul. I don't know if it was a foul as much as just a zero either way. And of course, Matt, 2 really amazing stories on this pair. I mean, you look at Chris Warren loses 5-11 to 501, round number 1, right to the loser's bracket, and then just absolutely lights the place up, and no problem on the spare, and lights the place up, averaging 250 plus, including an 847 series, a 798 series, or 787 series, and a couple other. Just beat Walter Ray. Walter Ray shoots 756 to lose to Chris Warren. Just amazing numbers by Chris. And then on the other side, Michael Calvin ties for the 64th position, wins a roll-off, and makes his way through the bracket to stay alive and be one game away from the shootout. So Mike has been our Cinderella story kind of through the whole tournament, and he's still alive, and every ball that Warren kept on the lane has been 10 back. Unfortunately, one of them was in the gutter. And Calvin with a superior look, up 3-4-5, really his A game. And Chris Warren making it his A game. I don't remember Chris being a straight up 3-4-5 player. Great shot there by Calvin, but boy, is he just lighting them up.
Chris Warren,
elimination bracket.
Chris Warren, pretty versatile. He's been around long enough. Won the regular Masters in 1990 and had a up and down, but exciting tour career. And now just the things he's done this week, these last couple of days even, pretty phenomenal. And now trying to finish it off. as now one of the top 8 bowlers left. But still 6 games to go before he can relax for a minute at least.
And of course, we should remind folks that we are on fresh here, and the pattern is 41 feet, 29 mils of ice oil. There's a slight taper from on the right side about the 2 board up to about board 7, and boards 5 and 6, it jumps up on board 7, and then it's basically flat across the lane inside of that. So everybody on the fresh who's had any success is playing pretty well straight up, 3, 4, 5. I've seen people out as far as 2, even 1.5. And then when they burn, you move maybe 2 and 2 left, maybe 3 and 3 left, but rarely seen anybody still left in the tournament at all inside of about 8 or 9. And Warren got a little grab on that one through the beak after Calvin's double.
So you mentioned Michael Calvin and his roll-off, his success, and his final game took place right here on 19 and 20 on our featured pairs, and he bowled very well that game. Certainly was around the number and threw great shots. Just didn't carry most of the game, so it came down to the 10th frame, needing absolutely must-have strike, first shot in the 10th, and he got it. And second shot left a 4-pin. And everybody around seemed to know the math already, that some scores already were in the books in the clubhouse there. Plus 141 looked like it was going to be the number. Before that, it was plus 140, a 3-way tie. And then Johnny Manzella picked up a key spare as well to get from 140 to 141, knocked the other 2 guys out. And then Calvin, by virtue of picking up the 4-pin, tied at 141 and forced the roll-off and then dominated that. 204, 155, and then the rest is history. Of course, no stranger to success. We found out he's a 2018 Michigan State Senior Masters champion, so he's familiar with throwing the big shots when he needs to, and of course I don't know the format at that event exactly, but probably pretty similar. Some variation of this, and just pretty amazing. Here he is now coming in and taking down the 1 seed in the first round. Second year in a row that's happened here at the Senior Masters. And then just cruising through, just staying alive.
I don't remember that being on the audio mix that they play in between the matches here, but certainly of that era. And it definitely would apply to Calvin. And Chris Warren with the unlucky break on the 4-9 goes for it, but hooks by it. Now at an early hole against Calvin. A little late on that one. Maybe didn't quite catch all of it at the bottom. Still going to be a 20-something pin lead for Calvin, and let's check in on the Moore match. We'll keep you updated on that one. Badavinik with a double and an open, but Ron Moore spare next 4. So Ron in control early of that match. And they're way up on 33 and 4. And we'll be craning our necks to try to catch the shots up there as they happen. The only 2 matches in the building right now. Got that a little left, but was very firm with it. Lays off, gets the strike. And there's a sweeping 9-pin messenger shot for Chris Warren. Down 23 in the early going here. 3-game match, total pins. Bingo, bango. Good shot for Chris. The way he's bowling, never count him out. 6-bagger's right around the corner. That was a strike by Badavinik you just heard, and meanwhile Ron Moore spare next 5. Oh yeah. Trips the 4. Big shot for Calvin, cool as can be. Just straight up the lane, everything right in line. Very simple. No makeup moves, nice and clean through the shot, straight up 3-4, right to the pocket. Ron Moore flat 10.
All right. One more great shot. Gets the 10 to go, and Chris Warren, after the run he's had all day today, as he said earlier, he was talking to Norm Duke, 6 more games to go. And somebody said, well, I hope you have 6 games. He said, no, I will have 6 games to go. So, I like the confidence.
Well, here's a guy that knows how to win. He's dominated on the regional tour and won nationally. And a little bit of a fast 8 there, a little high in the pocket. Maybe a little slow. Could he be finally showing some fallibility here after just tearing through the elimination bracket?
Well, taking the longest path, that's for sure.
So we mentioned the possibility of Walter Ray Williams repeating, and Chris Warren took care of that last match. And that will not be in the cards for Walter Ray. And Michael Haugen will extend his lead for PBA 50 Play of the Year, since he has a slight lead going into this tournament. And not that it was much Walter Ray's fault, shooting .756 and still losing to Chris Warren.
I believe that was our highest losing score of the week, and just 2 top players getting on a pair of lanes, and again, 10 minutes of practice, breaking them down, and we expect nothing less than strikes, pushing each other, setting them up real nice, and it worked, and just happened that Chris Warren carried more of that match.
Oh yeah, 10 back. Great shot for Calvin, just cool as a cucumber out there. Looks great. Warren possible 214. Calvin can open up with 259. And Badavinik has come back with a triple. Get him back within 25 of Ron Moore. Another nice Nice looking shot. Oh, yeah.
Right, so talking to Calvin yesterday, he was undefeated at 2-0, and his reward was going to be a matchup with Norm Duke first thing this morning. Well, he gave it a run. He knew that he was up against one of the best in the world. He'd have to bring it, and
that was one of the closer matches Duke had, actually. I think Calvin was still in it in the last game.
Actually, when I talked to Duke earlier, after he locked up the #1 seed, he said that win over Michael Calvin was the turning point of his event. So just whatever happened there, just getting past that, that was his big challenge of the day.
Next, 10-pin, 248 for Calvin with the spare.
And Norm said that the rest of the way, his opponents kind of gave him an open door like we saw with Michael Haugen in game #1, and he took advantage of it. He put up some big game ones and then was able to hold on to win. For Haugen, it was a 170 game, and Duke had a big first game effort, and despite Haugen stringing strikes in game 2, it was too much, and that was the key for Norm throughout the days here.
You get somebody on a 70-pin lead, and it just deflates your chances, and you just get up and you're pressing now. You know you need the next 6 or 7 to even have a chance to get back in it, and very few people can perform under that kind of pressure. And this is not the kind of lane condition where you can spray it around and change your speeds and change your grab and things like that and expect a strike. It's just not going to happen. You got to stay cool, get through it, get clean, stay straight, and that's where the strikes come. Haugen up to the task. I thought we might have a match there, but Michael just couldn't keep it going.
Chris Warren gonna need some of those strikes here. He is gonna be down in a hole 50 plus.
54 with a strike.
In his last match against Walter A. Williams, he started with 300, and Walter A. had 257. Both of them turned 500 plus. Warren had 579 for the second match in a row, and Walter A. had 505, and that actually ended up being pretty close.
Yeah, Walter shot 251 the last game.
And so 772, 756.
Now Ron Moore is in the 240s, high 240s. Against Badavinik, who can go 234 max. Moore with a double in the 10th. Looks like 248 for Moore.
Steve over there has been kind of in the spotlight the last few years. Had some success in Reno at the Bowlers Journal Championships, and then an amazing run to make Team USA in 2017. Made a run at the U.S. Amateur title as well. I'm not saying he came out of nowhere, but he's one of those guys where he's obviously been around for a minute as a 50 plus now. But to come out and bowl the way that he has over the last couple of years, and he bowled well at the team trials again in 2018, and now here at the Senior Masters.
And he's got to be one of the most friendliest, supportive guys out here. I've taken my son to team trials the last 2 years, and Steve has just been nothing but encouraging, welcoming, just a great guy. There's a ball change for Warren. It's a little bit more aggressive, maybe. Warren was throwing some urethane early on outside, maybe looking for something with that, or trying to drag down a little hold maybe in the practice session.
At the same time, I think Oxford series are 2 points.
Badavinik splits in the 10th. See if we can see what happened. And a double for Warren. Good start to the second game, but a 44-pin deficit. And Badavinik shoots 200 even. Tamore's 248. So 2 40-pin matches going in, but Warren starts with the double. Again, the winners here advance to the shootout with Daryl Bauer. Let's go. Leaner 10. Just knocked it, wouldn't go.
All right. So folks, despite what the screen said up until a minute ago, this is our final elimination bracket match before we get to our shootout round. So I'd say the fact that that was changed every single round until now, I'd say that's a pretty good run with all the things going on around us. But we do appreciate everybody being tuned in right now. I know the players do. Appreciate the support, the messages, the text, the chat room, the questions, all the feedback from everybody with all the little details about the players. Always very helpful. As we roll through a long week of qualifying and match play. And we're getting down to the very end. We've got 8 players left. 2 winners this round advance to the shootout.
Got that a hair left. And boy, it's sensitive. Went up for a 4-pin. Matt, only now, sitting next to you, watching you work, do I really appreciate everything that goes into it. As a live streamer myself, I can do it, but normally we have 2 or even 3 guys that help us with our little Mevo and our little audio setup. And you're here with 3 cameras and 2 computers and YouTube and live stream and all the writing up all of the results and all the social media posts and all the insights and all the knowledge you just pull out of your head. It's really an impressive operation you have running here, and I have deep respect for it.
I definitely do appreciate that, and I know it doesn't show on the other end when you're at home, and but I appreciate you guys and you taking the time to see what we do here, and of course adding some additional insight to our production this week. And it has been a good time, and we're here, we're kind of roped off, but we're not inaccessible by any means. So we've talked to a lot of folks this week, and whether they're BowlTV viewers or just would like to tune in, or they're subscribers, just curious about what's happening, where do I find this? It's definitely fun to talk about and introduce new people to it, and you can see by the numbers online that we're doing something right. It's been a steady 400, 500, 600 throughout the week, and now we're getting down to the exciting parts of the event, so hopefully the word will spread about the shootout coming up next. We hope everybody would like to subscribe and tune in and get notified. And of course, the finals coming up tomorrow. We will have a first-time winner here at the Senior Masters, so that's always pretty neat. Last year it was a super star-studded stepladder, and I remember the most memorable being back in 2015. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get, whether it's a Hall of Fame stepladder or 5 Michael Calvins. It's all pretty good, and somebody's going to get their name hanging up on a banner at the end of the lanes when it's all over with, and we get to tell those stories, and that's real special. And you can tell by the numbers and all the folks tuning in, thumbs up, etc. That it's been a good week. So looking to finish it strong here. And the question is, who is going to join Norm Duke and Michael Haugen in that stepladder?
Right straight up at him, but a little lazy turn on the back. That really aggressive ball he's throwing might be burning up a little energy early as they start to fry up the heads a little bit here. We'll see if he stays with that or he thinks about a move left to catch a little oil, or maybe a ball down to get something to the heads a little better. Let's see how Michael adapts to this.
Well, Bruce, these guys have seen these lane conditions. They bowled 15 games of qualifying. Then they bowled matches after matches. I think for Chris Warren, this is his 8th match, perhaps. So Mike Calvin's not too far behind there. They've seen the fresh a few times. They've seen different variations. At this point, I mean, you kind of have to have a pretty solid idea going in of what to expect. They've hit these pairs before as well. And it's really just a matter of do what you've done all week and just keep on doing it.
Beautiful shot there. Wow.
Just like that, slap the 10. And
so could have been an execution thing maybe. I think you're right about that, Matt.
And Michael told us, too, after he won that roll-off, that he felt his strength was the fresh, being able to play outside, play straighter. He's got the grit, and we saw that in his first match here on BowlTV with James Campbell. And it's been very similar, throughout. And with this ice oil and the volume, the pattern's not going to change that much over those 3 games. And even if you're coming to a pair that just had, one match on it, maybe one lefty, one righty. So I don't really feel, honestly, that Mike Galvin probably had to move too much during match play, and so he stayed in his comfort zone, and obviously it paid off. Here he is.
And meanwhile, Chris Warren with these 2 doubles has cut the lead in half. And there's another one. Getting back 32 of the 44 pins into Calvin's lead. So we're down to a 12-pin match now. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Matt. I would maybe counter a little bit that, from 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's probably where the least amount of oil is, just to say. And the guys are all right on top of it, so you might see a little change. And you're right, the ice oil does hang around longer than any other oil made by Kegel.
Well, at that point, though, I mean, best case, if you're right-handed, you creep a little bit left with your feet, and then you have some room to the right.
Right.
You
Now
get
you
a little,
got it right.
little more angle and even better carry at that point. I mean, that's basically the goal. That's the goal of sport bowling these days is, especially,
move into it. Yep.
Break it down to the outside, get yourself some miss room, and then move in and throw it to the spot. And, we've seen that spot develop for a few players over. We saw Pete Weber do it yesterday, where that spot down lane, they just came to a pair. They threw it. They moved left, threw it right at it. James Campbell found success doing the same thing.
Well, and you just described the entire Open Championships team strategy for teams that work together. Hang on. A little bit left. Maybe a little slow.
Definitely looks slow from here.
Yeah. Didn't look like he missed his target by much, but it definitely read a little early on him. And of course the ball absorption specs and other things that USBC is looking to do with the equipment is trying to minimize, again, this rapid absorption of the oil and tearing down the pattern as quickly and things like that. So it's definitely on people's minds how these patterns break down.
Well, whatever Chris Warren has been doing and his ball of choice here.
Boom.
I've spent a lot of time watching him do that today. I feel like his personal videographer, if you go to the official USBC Facebook page, Sport of Bowling USBC, first he shot 847. So we have highlights of that. And then he shot 300 against Walter Ray Williams Jr. And you probably think it's the same video twice. But in fact, 2 different ones, and almost did it again. So I was down there a couple other times. He had the front 9 and front 10 at one point. It was pretty wild.
So this shot to catch Michael Calvin. And does it. Wow. exactly a tie match now. Warren made up the 44-pin lead of Calvin, and they are exactly tied.
Well, Calvin doing what he did when he needed to is fill frames. 9 spare. If this would have been a no-tap tournament, he would have been the leader by 1,000 pins. He's very good at the spare shooting, but also very good at striking. However, this game, not so much. Just struggling a little bit.
There's the 2-7-8. He's going to have to hook into this one. Tough spare.
100% don't want to give Chris Warren an opportunity, and that's what's happening here. But luckily, the big first game got out to a hot start, so a little bit of room there. But that is erased. So as the folks behind us have pointed out, this is probably going to be a one-game match, do or die.
And great cover. Huge cover by Calvin, so he'll only lose the count and be down by exactly 3 now in the match.
Right.
No. Well,
numbers are climbing. Bruce, we've cleared 500 again.
all right.
Folks, remember, share this with your friends. Coming up about 20 minutes after this, or 30 minutes, depending on how things move along here. We will have the 4-player shootout. That is a lot of fun to watch. 4 players, 3 games, 3 advance. So make sure, set your alarms, come back to BowlTV, and perhaps you'll see Michael Calvin there if he keeps throwing shots like that to hold off Chris Warren. But Warren averaging 250 in his matches since losing the first round. Unbelievable.
How about a trip 4-10? He knows he got away with one there, but how about the right roll, right speed? Now a 13-pin lead for Warren. Can he go out for 279? Right now, he just hit his average for the last about 12 games. Right up. What a screaming messenger for Warren.
So was it our match yesterday on this pair, Chris Warren and Brian Goebel, where we saw Andy Warren about fall out of his chair? Chris needed count on his fill ball to get past Goebel, and it ended up being, it was almost 5, but it ended up being 7, and he won by 2, 684, 682.
He still had the bowl. He had a substantial lead, but he had to get 1 of the 3, I think.
That's right. So it could have been very ugly.
Ended up 70s for Warren. He's a machine. And Steve Dinovec coming back with spare next 6 against Moore. And Moore with a double, 2 spares, and 3 strikes of his own. Moore with the 48-pin lead going in, but Steve has definitely cut into that match.
That was about the same shot.
That's right. The unlikely 275. So Calvin can get back within 5 with a double here.
Yep, all 3 in the 10th here, and we have a 1-pin match going into game 3. Gotta get the first one first. Ooh.
Oh, ring 10.
Saw a lot of those from him. Great shots. Almost too good. So now he'll be down going into game 3, and Warren with the momentum. Whatever strategy he used early in the match with his other ball, or a key ball change, or however you look at it.
He did make the ball change for this game. Yeah. It's a good shot by Calvin.
So strikes aplenty in our other match. Badavinik and Moore. And Steve can shoot 290 still. Ron Moore, who's got the advantage, is on 260 pace, so.
And there's the strike, of course, on the fill ball.
19 pins.
19-pin lead now for Warren. Wrestles the 44-pin lead away from Calvin.
So the best either of these guys can do is get the number 3 seed for the TV show. So for Warren, he would have to bowl his 9th match coming up next. I believe I counted correctly. And then say he gets the number 5 seed tomorrow. That's 4 more games. 13 matches.
The 9th match, 3 times 9, that might be 27. He's still hitting it just as hard. Must be having some muscle milk or something.
So 19 pins the difference.
Badavinik not missing. He's got 290 in the wood and struck his first shot in the 10th. Oh, there's a trip 4.
That's got to give him something to think about, though. Did he get slow? Did he miss left? Or is it time to make a move? See, he's going with a lot more surface than Chris Warren.
Yeah, do you make the 1-on-1 move now, catch the head oil, maybe throw to the dry spot a little bit, or do you try to stay on top of it?
Warren with the shinier surface getting the ball down the lane farther, of course, then it hits the friction, so then you see that move left, and for Calvin it's going to be a smoother rolling, but a little earlier. Is it getting to be too early is our situation. And that one not early enough, but gets a nice break. The 2 and 8.
I think he might have just gotten that one, maybe 1 or 2 left to target, didn't quite hit it, but rolls the 2.
So I think that that evens out for that last ring 10.
I think. Gets him back to within 10. And Warren, no such luck needed. Dead flush.
Squeak, they call him. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Sometimes it's not safe to ask.
I don't think he'd mind. Great guy, Chris.
Well,
maybe ask his brother.
Maybe sometimes the story's not appropriate for BowlTV.
That could be. Well,
you know, bowlers.
We can filter that. Just give us the truth. We'll decide what goes on the air. Oh,
Chris Warren.
Just super high revs, lays it down. He did make a slight move left on that shot, I think.
Holy moly. $290.
Yes, sir.
For Badavinik. $490 after 2. Ron Moore will finish up, and he's working on 5 strikes of his own going into the 10th. So high scoring excitement down there.
So Moore just left, I think, a 4-pin. First shot in the 10th. Calvin answers. That rolled 2-pin huge. Gets strikes around it to give him the triple. $19-pin match here in favor of Warren.
Only 4 lanes going in the whole 56 lane center. 21 and 22, and those guys down on 33 and 4. Ron Moore finishes with 247 that game.
It's going to give Badavinik the lead.
So
Oh, check that.
Ron Moore leads by 5.
Check that. More by 5 in that match.
And the 7 wiggles won't go down for Calvin.
Moore was leading by 48 in that match and now leading by 5 after Badavinik's 290.
Well, 2 great matches. 19 pins here, but Calvin needed to be the one to strike and needed Warren to open the door. And now here's a chance for Warren to rev it up and maybe put it out of reach here early.
After 40-pin leads the first game, I think we might have been thinking about runaways, but both came back. Oh, wow. That ball dove at the end. Almost 4, 6, 7 in the pocket, but gets the 6-pin out.
Warren looks surprised by that reaction, but lucky to leave just the 4 and the 7.
Might be time to make that move left, Chris.
Now we've got a 1-pin game and an 18-pin match. Coming up after this, folks, we're scheduled for about 20 minutes after, give or take, so don't come looking for us if it's a few minutes or more. But if you're a subscriber to BowlTV, you should be in the know when we're ready to go live. And that will be the 4-player shootout. 3 players will advance to the stepladder finals. The high player will be the number 3 seed, second high number 4, third high number 5, and the low man in the shootout will be out and finish 6th at this year's Senior Masters.
Flat 10. Calvin really hasn't moved. He's pretty much still straight up at him with that surface.
Unfortunately, running out of time. It's down 18 before that shot. Warren with a chance to double.
And Moore looks like he just cleaned up the 3-6 to go strike spare. And Badavinik working on a spare for his second frame. Ooh, just sailed on him. I expected that to read. He's on the 2-pin. Within 1 pin this game, but Warren with the 19-pin lead going in. Bango. Big shot. Extends his lead. Warren can pull away here.
So with the potential for Chris Warren, Norm Duke, Michael Haugen.
Whoa. Screaming blower strike for Warren. Got it a little bit in, went a little bit down the oil, but that rev rate, that ball turned up and hit like a truck.
The combined weight of the potential stepladder will be in the featherweight division of the Senior Masters.
Well, Lesko's tall, but he's thin.
Michael Haugen, same situation, and of course, Norm Duke and Chris Warren, both little guys, powerful punch.
Well, uh-oh. That's trouble with the triple by Warren. And now the slow roll and open by Calvin. You have to wonder if he might wanted to have moved in with that big surface. And a little bit of hook, and I have seen 22 hook a little bit more than 21, but I think it's probably more a symptom of carving up the shot. These two guys right on top of each other.
Well, what a story, though. What a run. We're getting closer to the conclusion here. Chris Warren leading by 19 coming in. And 6 out of 7 here in the finale. Mike Calvin, everybody cheering for the guy who snuck in at number 64. Could he do it? Could he make the run?
Yeah, Calvin just about out of wood now. He can go 233. But he already had the 19-pin deficit. Means that Warren only needs to be in the 2 teens.
Come on, Squeaks.
He gets the little roll, a little kick on the 10.
Yeah, it's
Ho-hum, another 279 pace for Chris Warren. Had to get his average back up to that first game. Might have dipped below 256. Just amazing performance by Chris Warren in this elimination bracket all the way through.
come on, Squeaks. Yeah, baby. Yes.
And Squeaks getting it done. I do hope that's a good nickname. I hope that's a clean nickname, Matt. Because we're now using it. People in the back doing our announcing for us.
We have definitely a lively crowd, very well informed right behind us. They're
Great
about
crowd.
one step ahead of us.
Yeah, great crowd.
We should just pass the headsets. Actually, I'm already, based on your experience over these couple days, I feel that you're well prepared. I'm just gonna head back to Syracuse a day early.
Absolutely not.
Let you take over here.
Absolutely not.
Pack the gear.
Not.
Give it to Greg
no,
Moore.
No.
He'll ship it back to headquarters.
Stop now. Stop yourself. I show up with everything all set up, and I sit down and I sip my coffee and start dabbling, and you do everything else. Including write the story.
So you mean we're not at the point now where, as I do with Aaron Smith, well, I wrote the story yesterday. Today's your day. Are we not there yet?
Well, Jackie Wyckoff called us a cute couple. I don't think I know you that well yet to start writing your prose for you. think you might find yourself in trouble if you trust me with that part of it. And Moore just struck. Let's see how he's doing up there. I think that's a third hit for Moore. It's going to give him the 16-pin lead over Badavinik. Yeah, we're looking at 670 for Mike Calvin. And fantastic run for Mike Calvin. Just a great performance coming from the 64th position. And that was a tie at that.
And the dream continuing for Chris Warren.
Moore just ran out some kind of a light hit. You could hear it from here.
Warren showing off now.
The Brooklyn victory lap.
Using the other pocket too. Don't want to wear out just the TV pair, so you don't want to wear out the 1-3.
And let's hope people don't get too frisky. There's still a match going on down here.
It's true. Chris Warren seals his spot in the 4-player shootout. Now Ron Moore and Steve Badavinik trying to earn the final spot. They'll join Daryl Bauer and Keith Lesko. 3 of those 4 players will advance to the step ladder. Number 2 seed, Michael Haugen Jr., and the top seed, Norm Duke.
Sorry, Matt. Moore with the 4-bagger. Badavinik just went through the beak for a 4-6.
So the difference there coming to this game was 5 pins, Moore's advantage. So pretty soon, the way Ron Moore's been bowling here at Samstown over the last 2 or 3 years, they need to either put his name on the deed or name it after him or something.
Ronstown.
Ron Moore Lanes at Samstown. And despite a lower score than we've seen, Chris Warren is a winner, 747. He must be getting tired. 747, 670.
You realize that's only a 249 average.
Slacker.
I am so disappointed.
It's been a long day. He's getting tired. Only 247. Mike Calvin, the 2018 Michigan State Senior Masters champ, gave it a great run here at Samstown. He'll finish tied for 7th place. Cannot be upset about that, considering where we were with 1 frame to go 2 days ago. It's been quite a couple days, and perhaps Calvin will be headed over to the Senior U.S. Open as well, so good luck if he is. And Chris Warren, what a day, holy moly. Averaging 250 plus since losing his first match. We'll have the final shootout coming up here in a few minutes. So we're not going to stay on the air here, I don't think. We want to get set up for that match. That'll take place on 19 and 20.
On the fresh again, of course.
But Ron Moore cruising adds 1 more, so unless he completely unravels in the last 3 frames, it will be him joining us for the shootout, along with Chris Warren, Daryl Bauer, and Keith Lesko. And folks, again, we're going to take it down, and we're going to come back at this point in about 30-35 minutes, just based on the fact that that match still has to get done. So we do really appreciate you guys staying with us. We'll have a brand new event set up so the shootout can live on its own here on BowlTV. While you're waiting, remember to first give us a thumbs up before you go if you enjoyed today's broadcast, and then go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, BowlTV. And, of course, in the meantime, go check out the highlights from the week. the Sport of Bowling USBC on Facebook and at USBC on Twitter. And before we get ready for our final round, again, thank you to the folks here at Samstown for the hospitality. Tom Pippinger, Chelsea Wells, and the crew. And of course, Damon Sirocco, Greg Moore for USBC, Chip McKee, Robin McKee, Ryan Navarro, everybody here working. Bruce Hall, of course. But we have 3 more games coming up tonight, so don't go anywhere, folks. Grab a drink. Join us back here on BowlTV in about 30 minutes. My name is Matt Canizaro, and that is the news for now. We'll see you on the lane shortly.